Hello everyone, you are welcome to the Scratch lesson. Now, let's get to know the interface of Scratch. So we are going to start from the bottom to the end. Okay, so just like every window, we have the title bar, and on the title bar you have the name of Scratch, and then we have the control balls at the right side, right top corner of every window. So we have the minimize, the maximize or restore, and then the close button. They form the control box. Now below that we have the menu bar, and on the menu bar the first thing from my left is the name Scratch. Then after Scratch we have options to change the language, the various language we want to use. Currently we are using English. After, the next thing is file. File has the option where we can start a new project, load an old project that we have been working on and we have all saved in the past, or save a new project to our computer. Now the next thing we will look at is edit. Edit has the option to change some mistakes we've done. So if you have deleted a sprite, edit can help you restore the sprite. Now if you have built a lot of instructions in the sprite and you notice your sprite is becoming slow, you can turn on the turbo mode. This is under edit. Now beside the edit we have tutorials. Tutorials have some samples that we can click on and follow to understand how the Scratch application works. So we have few tutorials here. We will later come and explore them. Now beside the tutorials you have a text box, and this text box has the name Scratch project. So it means that anytime you have in mind any project you want to do in Scratch, you have to come and write the name of the project here before you continue to do whatever you intend to build. So for now we are only trying to identify whatever contains in the interface of Scratch. Now at the extreme end, the extreme right end of the menu bar, we have the help option there. Okay, now the next bar under the menu bar, we have some group of functionalities, and the first one is the code. Now this code is the same for both the sprite and both the stage. You get to understand that. So depending on which sprite or which stage you are working on, the code has various blocks of coding instructions. For example, and they are grouped under various topics. So under code we have motion blocks, we have looks blocks, we have sound blocks, we have event blocks, we have control blocks, we have sensing blocks, we have operators blocks. So these are just a group of blocks for us to be able to identify where they are and know when to use them. We have a block for variables, and then we have my blocks. So my blocks is where you create a functionality for yourself and define the function in the Scratch application. Okay, now beside we have these three tabs at the top. So we have the code tab, the costume tab, and this costume has this interface. This interface helps us to edit the costume of our character. Now these our characters are called sprites when it comes to Scratch application. Now after the costume tab we have the sound tab. This sound tab helps us to bring sound or music onto our project. So we have the sound tab, we have the costume tab, we have the code tab. Now under the code tab you will see that the various grouping or classification of the codes are done here. Then we have an area here which is called the script area. So this is where we will drag our codes. For example, when I go to my event and then I drag a event block here onto the script area, now this code I have dragged here is what will be executed. Okay, now so when you notice the script area, we have a small fainted icon here. This icon represents whichever sprite or state we are writing our code or instructions for. Okay, now let's go on. So at the extreme right, we have the green flag at the top here. On top of our stage, we have the stop button also on top of our stage. We have buttons that can help us minimize our stage area so that we can write more codes, create more area for writing our codes at the script area. Now we have the normal size. This is the default size where we have our stage area visual enough and some portion for our script area too. Now we have the full screen. So when I click on this full screen, you see that the stage alone has gained all the focus. So after you are done with your project, this is how you would preview or view your project in full. So we'll go back and then we'll reduce the full screen back to its normal size. Now under the stage area, we have the sprite details here. So at this place, whichever sprite you brought is going to have a name, and so the name appears here. For example, the sprite that is here, this is its name, sprite 1. Let's say I want to change the name. I'll click and then type Jack. So Jack is the name of my sprite now. Okay, now what this X and this Y shows the current location of my Jack. The sprite I call Jack, this is its current location. And so the stage is designed as a Cartesian plane where we have the x-axis and the y-axis. So the x-axis is from the left to the right. The y-axis is from the top to the down. Yes. So now this current location is the location here. So if I move Jack to this location, you can observe that the x coordinate and the y coordinate have changed. If I move Jack down here, you will see that the x coordinate is positive, the y coordinate is negative. If I move Jack down to this quadrant, you will see that the x coordinate is negative, the y coordinate is negative. If I move Jack up here, you will see that the x coordinate is negative, the y coordinate is positive. And so that is the details description. So currently my x coordinate is 2, my y coordinate is 0. Now we have this feature either to show the sprite or to hide it for the meantime. So we can show the sprite on the stage or we hide it on the stage. Currently I'll show it. Now this size, talk about the size of our sprite. Currently it is 100%. We can make it 200%, and that is how it looks. The same way we can reduce it to 50%, and that is how it looks, but I'll bring it back to 100%. Now we also have direction, and so if I click on direction, currently this is how my Scratch is facing. If I want it to face up, so that's how it will face. If I want it to face down, that's how it face. If I want it to face 10 behind, okay. So I am rotating my Scratch currently. Okay, so I'll bring it back to a default 90 degrees. 90. Now if you are not able to rotate, you can type it. So 90. Yes. Now below here is where we can show a list of sprites that we want to use. So currently I have this sprite. Now when you can see this icon here, it says what? Choose a sprite. So if I click on it, it takes me to a whole lot of sprites that are available, and so I can scroll down to choose sprites that are available. You can see that, right? Okay, so in order to choose a sprite, I'll just click on it. So I'm currently on a ball sprite. When I click on it, you will see that the ball has appeared on the stage, and under here the sprite list has the jack and the ball, but the ball is selected. Now let's observe the script area. When you see the script area, you will notice that the ball is also showing here. So it means whatever code we are going to write here is for the ball. Good. Now let's go to the next place. We have the stage here, so I'm going to select the stage. So when I click on it, you will notice that it has been selected. Now the stage area is here. So currently you can see that our stage has a white backdrop. The backdrop is also referred to as background, but here the name describing it is backdrop. Okay, so a stage can have several backdrops. So now when you come down here, we have choose a backdrop. So I'm going to click on it, and then we have various backdrops from which we can choose one for whatever project we want to use for. But today we are only exploring the backdrops. So let's say I have a backdrop of a school, and so you can see the backdrop is there. I am dragging my sprite on the stage. Good. So in all, we have spoken about the title bar, the menu bar, the ScraTCH project name. We spoke about the tab, code tab, the costume tab, the sound tab. We've spoken about the green flag, which is used to execute the codes. We have the stop button, which is used to stop an executing code. We have the various transitions, the various sizes of the screen, of the stage, of this stage. So we have a small size, we have a medium size, and we have the full screen size. Okay, so we have the the ScraTCH details here, and then we have the ScraTCH list here. We have the stage with number of backdrops, and so these two here indicates there are two backdrops currently on the stage. Now we have here to be known as the script area. The script area can be seen under the code. Okay, so we have the various blocks of code: the motion, the looks, the sound, the events, the control, the sensing, operators, variables, my blocks. Now these are just groupings. We have extensions also, so you can see this button here. When we click on this, it takes us to an extension. These are additional features that we can bring to add up to the various groupings that are here. They have unique code or blocks of codes. So in all, this is how the interface of ScraTCH is. In our next session, we will start manipulating and using some things. Thank you. Don't forget to like the video. See you in the next video.